Welcome to Halifax, Nova Scotia and the Scotiabank Centre for the 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships. This afternoon, Super Saturday gets started with the number 1 seed, the Cape Breton University Capers, facing the number 5 seed, the Memorial Seahawks. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Game 1 of the 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships semifinals. Alongside Augie Jones, Vince Williams on hand, Alan April is with us as well. This is an intriguing matchup between size and strength versus speed, skill, and perseverance. And let's start with the MVP in Hannah Brown with that size and strength.
Well, Hannah Brown, fifth-year player, seen her really develop over the 5 years into a powerhouse on all levels. I mean, she's the number 1 scorer in the league, in the country, and she has post moves. And what I like the most about her is her intensity. She doesn't take a play off. She's going to come at you every single play. She's going to box out. She's going to rebound. But her inside post play is the best in the country.
And you're talking about the speed, skill, and perseverance from the Seahawks. You got to look no further than Sydney Ezekiel.
Yeah, Sydney Ezekiel is a player who often we forget about because Sydney Stewart is dynamic. But yesterday, Sydney Ezekiel was the one that started out the first quarter, get us some breakaway layups, has a couple and ones, and so she really was the lifeblood yesterday for their big win against UMB, where they really weren't favored to win. So I kind of coined the Sydney squared thing because there's 2 Sydneys you have to stop. But yesterday it was about Sydney Ezekiel.
So 4 points separated these 2 teams, and the Capers 2 wins in the regular season. Let's go down to our third member of our broadcast, Alan April.
Thanks, Vince and Augie. Well, the first 2 matchups in this series back in November were a pair of high-scoring affairs, but a lot has changed since November. Seahawks head coach Mark English told me specifically his team has gotten a lot more disciplined defensively since the first time they went up against the Capers. And he knows that the MVP, Hannah Brown, is going to get her points and rebounds. She averaged 28 and 16 in her 2 matchups against the Seahawks back in November. But he says the key is going to be closing out on the other Capers, making things difficult for their shooters, and really keeping things tight in the paint rather than allowing the Capers to space the perimeter and get open 3-point shots. On the other hand, the Capers feel like they have a much more experienced team than they did back in November. Monique Caliste, a first-team All-Star, has some experience, and it should be a great game. Right now, I'm going to send it over to the PA announcer, Carissa Poulin, for the player introductions.
To the Scotiabank Centre for the 2019 Subway Atlantic University Sport Women's Basketball Championship presented by PepsiCo Canada. Featuring as the visiting team in today's first semifinal game matchup is the Memorial University Seahawks. They finished the Atlantic University Sport regular season in 5th place with a record of 9 wins and 11 losses for a total of 24 points. And representing as today's home team from Cape Breton University, the Capers. The Capers ended the AUS regular season in 1st place with a record of 18 wins and 2 losses to finish the season with a total of 48 points. And now, here are the starting lineups for both teams in alternating order. The first starter for Memorial is a 5'7" point guard in her 4th year from St. John's, Newfoundland, number 4, Jane Baird. The first starter for the Capers is a 5'6" guard in her 3rd year from Groups Point, Nova Scotia, number 5, Toni Bianchini. The second starter for the Seahawks is a 5'10" forward in her 5th year from St. John's, Newfoundland, number 11, Rosie Stanoy. The second starter for the Capers is a 5'7" guard in her 3rd year from Toronto, Ontario, number 6, Monique Caliste. 5'9" guard in her 5th year from Sarnia, Ontario, number 14, Sydney Stewart. 5'10" forward in her 5th year from Truro, Nova Scotia, number 8, Madison Monroe. 6'2" forward in her 5th year from Cambridge, Ontario, number 24, Brooklyn Wright. 5'7" guard in her second year. From Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, number 11, Mackenzie Ryan. And the final starter for the Seahawks is a 5'9" guard in her 5th year. From St. John's, Newfoundland, number 31, Sydney Ezekiel. And the final starter for the Capers is a 6'1" forward in her 5th year. From North Sydney, Nova Scotia, and this year's AUS MVP, number 34, Hannah Brown. In his 4th season as head coach for Memorial and a former Seahawks men's basketball alum himself, let's say hello to Mark English. And the head coach for the Capers in his 20th season, a former Canada national team coach, and this year's AUS Coach of the Year, Fabian McKenzie. The referees for today's games are Kyle Woodworth, Dale Parrish, and Ryan Langdon. And now, fans, I invite you all to please rise and remove your hats and join Rachel Spite in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us commands, car ton procès porte le pays, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So it's the Seahawks and the Capers. And let's take a quick look at the keys of the game, brought to you by TV1.
Yeah, we've got, you look at Memorial, won the game yesterday. They just ran it out, and that's what, like, the transition that they have. Cape Breton's got to deal with that and make sure that they get back. And they've got to stop the MVP, Hannah Brown, in the paint. On the side for Cape Breton, they've got to get the ball, obviously, oppositely, they've got to get the ball to their MVP as much as possible. And oppositely to what Munn does to win games, to stop them, Cape Breton's got to sprint back and make sure that Munn is playing against 5 defenders.
So we're underway, the opening tap controlled by the Seahawks. Stewart trying to go to work. Stanov, kick out the right. Right closely guarded by Monroe. Monroe gets a hand in there, and she'll turn it over. Calise in transition. Calise left hand, and she'll bank it in. And just like that, right off the turnover, they turn into the transition game and get an easy bucket down the other end. Well, Calise again defensively. She blocks Ezekiel.
And think about Calise gets the layup at one end, sprints back to get the block at the other end, and that's what Cape Breton's looking for.
3 balls no good there by Monroe. Rebound by Stewart. Here's Baird now in transition. Stano. 3 coming up. That's strong by Ezekiel. Last touch by Ezekiel, and last touch by Calise, and it'll stay with the Seahawks.
Well, if you look here, I mean, Calise moves her feet, stays in front, might have had her arms not so vertical, but yet she gets the block. And the best thing about that was she had the layup down the other end. So she sprinted back to make that play.
So Stewart unable to get her first field goal to drop. Another one and done for the Seahawks. Steal though by Ezekiel. She'll look to push. Kick out to Stewart for 3. Can't get that to fall, so 0 for 2 from the field for Sydney Stewart, who was outstanding in that quarterfinal game. Monroe, she can't find the mark as she's 0 for 2 from downtown.
Well, I'm really excited about this game because the pace so far as what they did the first 2 games in the regular season. First game in November was 86-83. Second game was 91-90. So they're going to get up and down the floor this afternoon.
Very high scoring games between these two teams. As Brown's attempt at the goal, her first, comes up short. So another one and done for the Capers. Here's Stewart, spin move in the post, left hand, can't get it to fall. Biagini, good defensive play there, was able to make that tough. In the paint,
pass.
Brown banks it in. Beautiful pass in transition. Nice pocket pass in tight by Biagini, and she found the MVP with an easy opportunity off the glass.
Yeah, that might be one of Hannah's easiest baskets here today, but nice drive and dish by Tony.
Here's Ezekiel. She'll get her own miss and she'll bank it home. And she's going to continue to push the issue and try to get into that painted area all afternoon long.
Well, yeah, I like how Sydney started off similar to yesterday. She's attacking, she missed that shot, she hustles to get her own rebound and puts it back in.
Here's Ryan for 3. That rims in. Ezekiel with the rebound. Looking to push. Here's Stewart in transition. Kick out. Stanov. And Stanov's shot is too strong. Rebound by Ryan. Excuse me, Biagini. Here's Ryan though. Ryan Koch cut the paint. Entry pass to Brown. Brown trying to go to work. Left hand. Can't get the soft floater to go down. Right with the rebound. And Baird will bring it across the timeline. Right hesitation, and she took that step there. Didn't put the ball on the ground before she blew by Brown.
Yeah, and you're seeing, Cape Breton is the #1 offensive team in the league, and it's ball movement. Nice drive by your point guard. Hannah stays right where the sweet spot is, catch and shoot. So, I love the pace of this game right now. I mean, it's up and down. My neck's a little bit sore from the first bit up and down, but what an exciting way to watch women's basketball.
These two teams really like to get up and down the floor as Haley Nickerson's checked into the game for the first time. Wright will go to the bench for the Seahawks. Here's Brown on the entry, draws the double late. Inside of Monroe, beautiful pump fake and take to the rim, and she's fouled by Stewart. Great patience there by Madison on that one-on-one.
Well, yeah,
move.
this is a nice, that's a nice pipe. What you call that, an up and under. So she goes up, changes, and the defender rises up. Once the defender rises up, you can go under. Really nice move by Madison Monroe, who's known for shooting threes. That's a really quality post move by her.
Madison averaging 7 points on the season. She shoots the free throw at 86%. And she goes 1 for 2 in her first trip. Longley's checked into the game for the Seahawks.
And I think Cameron's going to get a lot of time today because she's got the size and strength to handle Hannah, at least physically inside. So we may see her a lot more than Brooklyn Wright.
Nickerson tried to get to the cup. That is bothered by Monroe. Looking to push once again are the Capers. Good entry pass there to Brown. And Brown able to get that left-handed hook shot to go down. And Brown's getting great position in that painted area. Not much resistance right now by the Seahawks.
Well, no, and also let's really focus on Hannah Brown here for a second. Nice three-pointer by Sydney, but Hannah is someone that be able to shoot a jump hook with your left hand as a right-handed player is very difficult, whether you're a male or female. Hannah has a plethora, a bunch of post moves inside, and she's going to be a pleasure to watch this afternoon.
Got a plethora of a toolbox there if you can use both left hands and right hand in that painted area. And that short shot comes up short by Khalees. Stolen by Monroe though. Looking to push again. Here's Khalees. She'll try and spin move. And one counted. Beautiful move by Khalees.
Yeah, and this is what we talk about why she's the MVP. I mean, if you look at this looks easy. It's not easy because we can hardly eat supper with our left hand if we're right-handed, let alone to be able to score. And this is in transition, spin move by Khalees. And we're looking at Cape Breton's 2 best players right there, Hannah Brown, Khalees, and they both got off to a great start.
Absolutely. Khalees averaging 18 points on the season, first team all AUS. Had 24 points in the first matchup and 18 in the second. And she's called for the foul there, but she's been outstanding, the freshman from Toronto, Ontario.
Well, yeah, and she brings some experience because she's played small college before she's got here, but even though that's a late call, that is a grab. Great call by the referee, and it doesn't matter if you have every once in a while you have a call that comes late.
She'll pick up her first personal. She tries to step in front of that pass. Last touch by Khalees, but you can see her great foot speed. She goes left to right, side to side, and goes up and down at a very high pace.
Yes. And you saw a couple passes already picked off. Cape Breton is looking for that long pass from Munn, so Munn's really got to be careful, maybe use some ball fakes, go back door, but they can't just float passes out there because they've got, the Capers are looking to pick off those passes.
So Memorial unaware where the shot clock was, shot clock violation, and they'll turn it over. Good move, left hand, in tight, can't get it to fall. Bianchini got in tight there, did good work, just unable to finish at the rim. Still a 5-point game for the Capers. Here's Nickerson off the pick and roll. Ezekiel trying to get inside. That's a tough shot being altered. Coming back the other way is Ryan, and that's picked off by Stewart. Stewart tried to cross over Ryan and hit off the foot of Ryan there. And Sydney Stewart, outstanding defensive play there. She knocked down her first 3 ball of the afternoon. And her offense is going to be very important this afternoon for the Seahawks.
Well, it is, and it's early on. Cape Breton has a 5-point lead, but you know that doesn't mean much in a 40-minute game. And you're right, Sydney's going to bring it, and again, Sydney squared. You got 2 Sydneys that you got to watch out for, and they're both able to score. Sydney Stewart had 32 yesterday. Sydney Ezekiel had 23. That's a bunch of points between 2 players.
In their last meeting between these 2 teams, in that 91-90 loss in the regular season, she had a big 36 points.
Oh, yeah.
She was outstanding. So another one and done down the other end for the Seahawks. Capers looking to build on this 5-point lead. Here's Monroe, entry pass, good catch. Can't finish those. Brown, she's bumped hard by Baird, and she hits the deck. She's back up to her feet, though. And that was a good entry pass there by Madison Monroe to find Brown underneath the bucket.
Yeah, she's tough. She's really mentally and physically tough. What a pass by Madison, but then boom, you take a shot there, and you want to know what? I wasn't surprised that Hannah bounces right back up. Like, that's the intensity I talk about in our league MVP.
Size and strength. Picked off there by Longley.
I like what Cameron Longley's bringing to the team. Again, she did it yesterday as well. There she is, boom, and finishes.
Right
what a
on
nice
cue.
Yeah, right on cue, man. She's a big help for them coming in, and today they're going to need her because she's got the same size to be able to handle Hannah, and that's a nice, move by Mark English to move her in there and let Brooklyn play the 4. Let Brooklyn go out and play outside and keep Cameron inside.
Penetration to the cup there by Tony Bianchini. She's fouled on her way to the rim. That was in the act of shooting, and she'll shoot too. Multiple substitutions for the Seahawks, as Ezekiel will check back in. Stewart will check out. Mayotte and Longley will come out. And coming into the game for the first time is Alana Short, as Bianchini will hit the first. And Tony shoot it 79% on the season, averaged 8 points in the starting role. And also in for the Capers is Audrey Rankin. And a charging call, and stepping in there defensively is Bianchini. She is a pretty good defensive player as well. We've seen this a couple times in the
And as you watch this, is the arm, it is. If the arm goes outside of your cylinder, that is a foul, and that's a great call. That's right on time.
Backdoor cut and banking it in. Beautiful backdoor cut as 80 Mayotte was able to bank that one home, but good ball movement and outstanding movement without the basketball on the backdoor read. Jumper too strong there, and ripping away the rebound is Tony once again in the middle of it all.
You know what's interesting is that, Munn is a team that pushes the ball in transition on the pass, but Cape Breton does a very good job of pushing the ball with their guards on the dribble. Tony and Mackenzie are always kind of giving you that they're not walking it up. They're bringing it to you. There's Hannah on the post move.
Oh boy, that was some kind of shot. Wasn't really square to the rim. Kind of spun away from the defense and banked it off the window. And now the lead is up to their largest. Need a response here for the Seahawks. Here's Nickerson, she's fouled.
Yeah, you know, we've got, the Capers, the #1 team in the league right now, and you think about ball movement inside to Hannah, she makes her post move, and that may seem like she just threw it up as like a hook shot. That's what the confidence she has. She's in her 5th year. She's taken so many shots like that's a solid shot for her. Kind of like a little jump hook on the right side. Great team play.
Another play and another opportunity to show us what she has in that toolbox. As Nickerson knocks down both. Breaking up that run by the Capers. Here's Bianchini though, in tight.
That's
Soft
nice.
jumper on the baseline.
That's nice. You saw her explore, kind of get in there and say, okay, you're going to give me that. She bounced back 1 step. Nice little pull up off the dribble.
Bianchini really showing her offense here. That shot won't fall. And here comes Ryan looking to push in transition. 3-ball, Bianchini, that rims out. Rebound by Wright.
I think Munn's got to kind of work their offense right now because Cape Breton is getting back into playing 5-on-5 D, and Munn is taking shots that are not very good shots. So when you're back 5-on-5, you've got to work your offense. In transition, if you've got numbers, you might be able to try a little bit of a shot that might be contested, but when there's 5 people there, you can't just go down and take the first shot you have.
So timeout on the floor. We'll take a look inside the huddle.
Heard about the new loyalty program at Subway? Subway's My Way Rewards program gives you the power over how to earn and redeem rewards. The program has some fantastic features and giveaways that members can take advantage of, including exclusive deals, food rewards, and much more. Subway, the official fuel of Atlantic University sport.
So a minute 27 remaining in the opening quarter, and take a look at Fabian McKenzie. Outstanding coach in his 19th season, 6-time coach of the year, and he's been outstanding. And Mark English right now, he's trying to direct his club. But with a minute 27 remaining, Augie, I mean, the Capers have been pretty much getting what they want offensively. Defensively, the Seahawks got to find a way to try to stop that inside presence by Brown.
Well, they do, but I'd like to circle back to what Munn needs to do offensively.
Right.
They're shooting 17%. And so what they did yesterday is not going to work today.
Right.
Because Cape Breton's getting back and stopping their transition. So if you get into a 5-on-5 situation that's slowed down, you got to rely on your offense, ball movements, cuts, screens, pick and rolls to get good shots. You can't just stand and go drive against 3 people and look to get a shot. And that's what Munn's done so far. But again, it's a long game, and that's a nice timeout by Mark English. And you'll see it right now. They're moving the ball much better out of the timeout right here.
And can't afford to turn the ball over, and once again they do, and that's turnover number 6. And that's going to affect your percentages as well. So just over a minute remaining in the opening quarter.
I like Cape Breton's pace. I mean, you look at the ball movement, and really it's a tale of 2 teams right now because Cape Breton is working the ball. This is about the 8th pass in this possession.
Perpetual ball movement by the Capers. They really like to move it around, get everybody involved. Here's Short in transition. Went in all alone, was unable to finish at the rim, and Ryan now will bring it across the timeline. Ryan wide open for 3, and she'll knock it down. Can't leave her wide open from distance.
Nah, and she looks so calm and cool out there. Again, really nice read. She waited on it. She saw that no one was coming out to her, and she lays down and scores a nice open J's.
Good backdoor cut by Ezekiel, though. They answer down the other end.
Well, you watch her. She says, okay, good. You're going to leave me open? Boom. Hits the 3. And then as we saw down the other end, Sydney Stewart to Sydney Ezekiel, and they score. And really, I think that maybe Munn's just got to keep pushing, even if they're 5-on-5. Push it. Do not walk it up, because when they're walking it up, they're having real trouble scoring.
Ezekiel, she'll finish the 3-point play and cut the lead to 8. The largest has been 11 in this opening quarter for the #1 ranked Cape Breton Capers. Here's Ryan.
They're going to look for the last shot here.
For 3. Bang, and knocking it down is Rankin. Ezekiel at the buzzer, and that comes up short. So 11-point lead for the Capers, and we'll step aside, but we'll be returned with more action here at the Scotiabank Centre. The Capers lead by 11.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says, I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
Welcome back to 5TV1's coverage of the 2019 AUS Basketball Championships. And after the first quarter of the first semifinal, the Cape Breton Capers lead the Memorial Seahawks 23-12. Fans, it's now time for the Kent Own the Paint Instagram contest, where you can win a Visa gift card by choosing the player with the best stats during today's game on your mobile device. Step 1, simply follow Kent Building Supplies on Instagram. Step 2, click on the Kent Building Supplies Instagram story on the top left of your screen. Step 3, make your real-time pick. Choose who you think will win this game. Winners will be chosen at the end of today's game. Enter to win a Visa gift card courtesy of Kent Building Supplies.
Thanks for that, Alan. And let's take a look at how we got here on the road to the final. As the Memorial Seahawks able to knock off UNB yesterday afternoon that is, and take on Cape Breton. And then coming up after this one, it'll be Acadia versus UPI as they had a dominating performance against Dalhousie.
And that's a rematch of last year's final. And also you have your top teams out of the regular season. Obviously UNB was 4th, but yet you have 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's the cream of the crop.
So the Capers with 11-point lead will start the second quarter with the ball. Biagini to the rim. And that's last off the side of the rim there on that attempt by Tony.
Hopefully they don't change what they were doing in this quarter, because last quarter they really moved the ball around to look for the best shot, and Tony's shot there wasn't one of those.
Stewart to the rim, she gets her own rebound. Ezekiel for 3, and Ezekiel puts it in. Good looking stroke there by Sydney from her battery mate, Sydney Stewart.
Yeah, and Sydney Stewart hustles her own rebound down, passes to a teammate, she bangs the open 3. Great hustle.
Biagini with the beautiful move there off the crossover, and she's fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, you see, you hustle. This is what hustle does, and they often say that you get open shots off of offensive rebounds because everyone's focused on the rebound. So if you can dish those back out, someone's standing wide open at 3, and Sydney Ezekiel hits an open 3, and that bodes well for Munn. I mean, those are the type of ways that they've got to score, because again, it's not easy them scoring here today.
So Tony goes back to the free throw line, and once again she goes 1 for 2. Hannah Brown's checked back in after a quick blow.
Nice pass.
Stewart backdoor, she turns it over, and here's Ryan looking to push. Ryan closely guarded by Stewart. Dribble hand off there. Back to Ryan, thought about it. Brown, she'll try her hand from downtown. That's off the side of the rim. Had a good look from distance. Boy, oh boy, if she was able to knock down that one, that would really open up her offensive game.
I was thinking about that. I was like, oh gosh, if that goes in, now how do you stop her? Oh. She's hitting 3s, she's dominating the paint.
I tell you. So coming back into the game here for the Seahawks is Nickerson. Oh, it's standoff. Here's Stewart, she'll kick it out. Ezekiel, closely guarded by Khalees, who's checked back. Stewart will fire from 3, and she'll rattle it down. So Stewart lining it up and knocking it down from distance.
It always speaks to me on what experience does, like when you've been there, because some of the players that have been here 3-4 years, they're really calm in this setting.
And Rankin steps out in front of Stewart and causes the foul there.
Like, again, the ball swings, just look at the body, like there's a certain amount of calmness to this. I'm open, hit that shot, and that comes from veteran kind of experience. And they say that when you've been doing something a long time, things move slow, and you see things slower, and you can read them easier. That's what I see from some of the players who have been to this playoffs more than once.
Ezekiel to the rim, and she comes up short. Try to rip that rebound away from Brown and fouls Brown.
You know, when you think again, Sydney's penetrating. Oh, that's a nice pass. Little no look, and then Ezekiel down the middle.
Gotta finish. Can't leave opportunities on the other end. Good defensive play though, as Ezekiel was able to cut off Khalees and force her to turn it over. So it's a 6-point game.
I like what Munn's doing. I like what they're doing in this quarter. I mean, they are battling, and I think that offensively, that's a tough shot.
And Stewart able to fall. She's got 8 now.
Wow. That's a really off balance. Her legs were twisted, but yet, as we said yesterday, Sydney Stewart can make those shots.
3 for 9 now from the field, 8 points, and she's 2 for 3 from downtown. And Khalees is called for the offensive charge.
I mean, this is a beautiful shot. The spin down the middle with the right, like that's a really nice shot, whether you're a guy or a girl, man or a woman, that's a nice shot.
Some contact there, and she was initiated with the contact from Brown and able to get it to fall.
So I love when it's competitive basketball, and right now the Seahawks have come out in the second quarter, and I'm not surprised, but they're not going to lie down. 4-point game, they're in it, and so we're in for a really great game here in the first semifinal.
Well, it was close in the regular season, only 4 points separated. Beautiful spin move, and banking it home was Haley Nickerson. In traffic tight and getting it to fall. My goodness, that was outstanding.
Well, that's 2 spin moves by Munn players, and if that's what gets you the space and you're open, it's a beautiful move to use.
And Brown can't get that one to fall down.
You know, because we're talking about getting space when you want to get a shot, so look how Haley can get space here. She spins between the 2 of them, that gets her that wide open look, and so whether it's a crossover, behind the back spin, whatever move you have to make, you're really just trying to get space.
Stewart in tight, and they tie it up, and they erase 11-point deficit just like that. 12-1 run for the Seahawks, and they have responded here in the second quarter. Here's Ryan now. Ryan off the pick and roll. Brown, she'll fire again from distance. That is a wild shot off the backboard, and Ezekiel will look to push in transition, and she's bumped all the ways down by Rankin. So the Seahawks responding.
Well, it's interesting how momentum works, because when momentum's on your side, you tend to make better decisions. And Munn now, with the momentum, making really nice decisions down the other end, and baskets are going in, even tough baskets. Now you've got Cape Breton, who feel like, oh my gosh, they're making a run, and they've taken some bad shots this quarter.
And that forces Fabian McKenzie to call a timeout to regroup. And you mentioned they need to go back inside and get Hannah Brown inside that painted area and let her go to work.
Yep.
The Roxbury Urban Dive Bar is proud to be a sponsor of AUS basketball. Located right across from the Scotiabank Centre, the Roxbury has a DJ every night, 7 days a week. Celebrate the AUS basketball championships this weekend at the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar.
So it's tied up here, Augie, 24-24, 12-1 run for the Seahawks to start this second quarter, and they have responded, and Munn has just been responding since they were down 11.
Well, yeah, I mean, kudos to Mark English and the way that the Seahawks have come out. Nice pass. Ezekiel hits one. Here's a nice pass across to the other. So we got 2 Sydneys hitting from 2 different sides. A spin move here by Sydney Stewart to score. And then Haley Nickerson here with another spin move. And we said yesterday, their big 3 are Sydney Stewart, Sydney Ezekiel, and Haley Nickerson off the bench. And now this run has been fueled by those 3 people.
Well, they got 22 points of the 24 points here. And they have been outstanding, the big 3 for Memorial. Here's Stewart now. Crossover, loses the handle, scramble for the loose ball, tie up by Bianchini. Ayotte and Nickerson. And the possession arrow will favor the Seahawks. 10 to shoot now on the shot clock.
Charge.
And picking up the charge and stepping in there once again is Tony Bianchini.
Yeah, she does a really nice job of that because the type of players that can get charges are willing to sacrifice their body, but they keep straight and they hold their position. If you hold your position, the referee gives you the charge. If you don't hold your position, then they're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That's 3 fouls on Sydney Stewart.
Huge. That's huge.
We're
right
halfway through the second quarter, so
storylines may change here.
Yeah.
Ryan try to capitalize. So Stewart's got to go to the bench. She's got 10 points. That's a game high thus far on 4 of 9 shooting, including 2 for 3 from downtown and 4 rebounds. Back door. Here's Short. She'll give it to Nickerson. Stanhoff.
She should have shot the first one.
Ezekiel for 3. Bang! And Ezekiel will pick up the shooting where Stewart left off.
Yeah, and you want to know what? Sydney Stewart having 3 fouls is not the end of the world. You can always play with 3 fouls, but most coaches will take you out in the first half if you do get to that point.
And the Seahawks take the lead temporarily and answer right back. It's Mackenzie Ryan as she knocks down her firework from distance.
And that's beautiful shooting form. She's right in front of me when she shot that, and it's picture-perfect shooting form.
No surprise, and she is the daughter of John Ryan, Cape Breton Caper men's team legend. 3 ball, Bianchini. Here's Nickerson. She'll give it up. And bringing it across the timeline is the veteran Baird. Ezekiel again. And can't get that one to fall. Brown with the rebound. That was definitely a heat check from distance by Ezekiel.
Yeah, they're living up to the hype of the first 2 games where they scored in the 90s and the high 80s. Well, the pace is going. People are hitting shots. We're tied up. What a great game.
So Mark English wants to talk it over here, tied up at 27 all, and they were able to take their first lead off the great ball movement, good defensive play, but capitalizing, making shots on the other end.
Well, they are, and it's a great point that you made, Vince, because when we had the last time out, they were 17% from the floor. Right now, they're 33% from the floor, and that's a testament to what happened, in the quarter when they went on that run. So we're even, a lot of the stats are even, and now it's a coaching chess match. Now there's no momentum, everyone's kind of even, so it's Mark English versus Fabian McKenzie, and they got the coaching board out, and they're going at it. And
when
this is the type of basketball we love.
And when that board comes out and there's a lot of passion on their face, they're going to say something that's aggressive and try to get their team to get a little bit more aggressive.
And if you watch, look at your teammates. Like, your teammates are going to be so happy for you. You go through a whole season together. This is what it means to be at this point and cheering on your teammates. Mackenzie hits a shot, everyone feels good.
There's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow in this position last season on this very floor. The Capers came in as a highly touted seed, and they got the bye, and they got shocked by UPI.
Yes.
So they don't want this to happen in back-to-back seasons.
Yep.
And they're going to look to Hannah Brown and Madison Monroe, as well as Khalees and Mackenzie Ryan, to pick up the slack and not let it happen again.
Yeah, well, they got a fight on their hands.
Very veteran-laden team by the Seahawks. As you mentioned, a lot of 4th and 5th year seniors, as Ezekiel was able to pivot and pull up and knock it through.
Well, to your point, Munn has 4 5th-year players and 2 4th-year players. That's the most veteran team in the AUS.
And they're starting to show here. Brown from distance, and she misses everything, coming up short. Here's Baird pushing it. The Nickerson stops, she banks it in, and that was beautiful, awesome play in transition.
Well, everyone has a style in the way that they play basketball, and Haley Nickerson's style is really smooth and confident, but she hits shots at weird angles.
Got it up
that
quick.
works for her.
Got it up real quick, but Monroe answers with her own jump shot. And the Leads down to 2. Nickerson back to back with the left hand. She is exploding off the bench, and there's no surprise, but she is outstanding in that reserve role.
Well, and they need her because Sydney Stewart's on the bench. So Haley recognizes that, and she's been very aggressive. Hey, coach needs me to score. I love scoring, so I'm going to go out and do that.
Well above her average in the first two meetings between these two teams. She's averaging 14 points, but she got 20 and 17. Here's Ezekiel.
She had it too.
Can't get it to go down off the glass. Did well to get in tight there on the crossover, but a foul call on the rebound and a push. So Tony Bianchini will pick up the personal.
And this bodes well for Cape Breton, for Munn, because they're doing this without Sydney, and so she can sit and not get that fourth foul. And right now they're building a little bit of a lead, so that's great news for the Memorial Seahawks.
That's team number 4 for the Capers. 3, that rims in and out. And Stanov try to hit from distance. Here's Monroe. She'll hand it off to Ryan. Over to Bianchini. Blow by. Bianchini gets in tight. Kick out. Monroe. She'll try to get by there.
Good D.
Monroe,
that's nice.
Great ball movement. Shot clock down under 10. Here's Ryan in tight. Good feet off the glass and in. Perpetual ball movement there at its essence for the Capers.
That's why I love women's basketball. And yes, I'm biased, but the ball movement, the teamwork is what makes you win. There's not individual athleticism that blows your mind. It's got to be teamwork. And that was beautiful teamwork by the Capers.
Short fires from distance. Can't get it to fall.
Yeah, and they work it so that they could have, there's many shots they could have took. They moved it around until they got it to the MVP on a little left-handed shot. That's great ball movement.
And that's what you want to do. As Ryan gets to the cup, she's fouled, she'll shoot 2.
So let's look at this. So really, Tony could have shot it. Mackenzie could have shot it. But why not get that one in closer to the MVP? That's great basketball.
That's Hannah Brown. And that's her first field goal inside that painted area. She's tried 3 balls from distance, and none of them look good. So she's gonna have to take her game inside that paint, where her field goal percentage is outstanding.
Well, yeah, and when Munn went on the run is when she took those 3 3-pointers, a little bit out of frustration. You know, you do want to see her in there, but it goes to show you when you're in your 5th year, you really have the green light to take, and you're the MVP, you have the green light to take any shot you want.
So Brooklyn Wright will come in for Jane Baird. And it will be a 1-point lead here for the Seahawks. Here's Ezekiel, and she barrels into the chest of Monroe. Monroe's upset. Fabian McKenzie, he's not happy as well. As Kyle Woodworth made the call on that one, and he is not happy as Fabian McKenzie, as he thought it might have been a charge there.
Well, it's always nice to get the kind of 20/20 of a thing like that, on a play like that, to see the replay and kind of, was it a block? But we know that the block charge call is a very tough call for any referee in live time. So that's not unusual that you debate the block charge call.
So Ezekiel able to knock down both of those free throws. And the lead's back up to 3 for the Seahawks. Bianchini to Ryan. Ryan gets inside. Nice stutter step. Can't get the fall though.
Nice move. I'd like to see Hannah post up a little more aggressively. She seems to be kind of hiding a bit in there. And as MVP, they need her to be like in front of people posting up.
Gotta be strong. Bianchini, that's blocked out of bounds by Ezekiel. She stares down Tony, and she put that on the end lane.
Yeah, this is nice defense, and you know, Tony's shorter than Sydney, but you know, there's a little bit of oomph behind that.
Yes, there is.
You know, get out of here.
A lot of that stuff. 3 ball though, coming up. Can't get it to fall. Had a good look from distance was Tony. Under a minute now.
Yep.
Here's Ezekiel. Not in any hurry here. Looking to pick and roll. Draws the double. Short will swing it to Wright for 3. Wright trying to find the range, and she does, and she puts it in.
Great shooting for him. Brooklyn does that well. Lefty shooter. And again, like, what a game. Like, they're up 6. If they can get a stop here, it's huge going into halftime. Nice play.
Good backdoor, and count it. Bianchini moving without the basketball, and that was an outstanding backdoor cut and a backdoor bounce pass, and Bianchini are able to finish through contact.
Well, yeah, and, you know, Madison makes a great play, but I love what Tony's doing. Like, you would think that Tony's the MVP of the league in this game. Honestly, she's driving,
very
she's being aggressive. That's really nice. They needed that three-point play. That's huge. Great first half for Tony.
Bianchini continuing to be very aggressive offensively, gets the lead down to 3. Here's Wright again looking for back-to-back daggers. That's too strong off the backboard. She gets the ball back, and the Seahawks will hold for the last shot.
Yeah, they should.
Here's Ezekiel.
She's got to get rid of it.
Wright to the rim. Wright's bomb finger roll with the left hand. Check you out, Brooklyn.
She's lefty.
Got bumped there by Brown. No call, but there you go. It's a 5-point lead for the Seahawks, and we'll step aside when you are watching 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships here on TV1.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
The Memorial Seahawks lead this Cape Breton University Capers 40-35, joined now by Seahawks head coach Mark English. Coach English, your team exploded offensively in that second quarter after a bit of a slow start, outscoring the Capers 28-12. What did you like about your team's play in that second quarter?
I thought they were a bit confident. I mean, we got good looks in the first quarter. We just didn't put them down. I think, you know, maybe a few jitters. I don't know what it was, but I challenged them in the quarter, going into the second. Told them they're better than they're playing, told them to believe in themselves, and they're the only ones who can get it done, and they went out and answered in the second quarter.
And chatting pregame, we discussed Hannah Brown. You said you knew she was going to get her numbers, but you did a very good job on her, your team did, in that first half, holding her to 8 points on 4 of 10 shooting. What was the key to defending her?
I mean, we're trying to ball pressure the wings a little more. I thought Rosie Sonoya, 5th year, she's experienced, maybe undersized, but she's big in the heart, and she's doing a great job of not letting her get early position. But, I mean, it's a whole other half to play, and Hannah's the MVP for a reason, so we're expecting her to come out and try to take over. So,
great. Thanks, Coach, and best of luck in the second half. We'll be right back with some more halftime analysis, and, of course, the second half, you're watching live coverage of the 2019 AUS Basketball Championships on Bell 5 TV1.
Is holding, sir. Yes, bravo. Oh, there. Yes, indeed. This is going to make your world a lot different than the one I grew up in. You know where England is?
Sure, it's over there.
And over there is where that sound is coming from. Right, Mr. Marconi?
Through the air, across the ocean. The first time ever.
Roger, 8 plus 34, 9 plus 09.
Yes, you can see how these are just little, basically absorbent patches that will capture your sweat. And then we just measure how salty your sweat is.
When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's packed to the rafters in the Edmonton Arena. Everyone is feeling the pressure on the Grabs as they await the American champs. Here's the Cleveland favorite Knits now, and boy, do they look impressive.
Look at their uniforms. I bet you could sure run in smart shirts like those.
Not that. Look, world champs, my eye.
Grads, we don't play for glory. We play the game for the game's sake. So tonight, you're going to earn that title by playing your game. Teamwork, passing. Let's show them what it means to play the Grads.
The Edmonton Grads were champions for 25 years. The record of 502 wins and only 20 losses is unmatched in all of sport.
Welcome back to Bell 5 TV1's coverage of the 2019 AUS Basketball Championships. And at the half, the Memorial Seahawks lead the Cape Breton Capers 40-35 in our first semifinal of the day. And I'm joined now by Cape Breton University Capers Athletic Director John Ryan. John, thanks for joining me here.
No, thanks for the opportunity.
So the women's team, bit of a, tale of two quarters, as we were saying there. The first quarter, they came out really strong. Second quarter, a bit of a letdown, but we know very well this team is experienced. They've been in this position before, and head coach Fabian McKenzie, coach of the year again, has them in a good position. What do the women need to do in this second half to turn it around and head to another final this year?
Well, I think it starts on the defensive end, right? I think, it, as you said, tale of two quarters, and I think we held them to 13 in the first quarter and 27 in the second. So championship basketball always starts on the defensive end, so hopefully they can get back to what they're trying to do. Memorial's a very good team. We knew coming in, right? Personnel, they're very good. They're big. Their guards are big, and they give us some problems because of their size, and they're making some shots. So sometimes last night you wish it was a 20-minute game. Today we're glad it's a 40-minute game, and hopefully we can pick it up in the second half.
Absolutely, and big Cape Breton fan contingent. The Orange Army is out in full force this weekend, and it's no surprise that the women are back on semifinal Saturday, fifth time in the last 5 years. But were you looking at last year and saying the men's team would be playing in the semifinal? It might have been a bit of surprise. What can you say about Matt Skinn and the job he's done to turn around the men's program so quickly this season?
No, he's done an outstanding job for sure, right? I know Jonah was coach of the year, and rightly so, for 19-1 Smeal Husky, but Matt has done an outstanding job, and it's nice to have him back. He's got that national championship experience from Calgary last year, so he brings that back, and yeah, he's done an outstanding job to get us. Our goal this year was to get back into the playoffs, which we did, and then to get that win last night, just take that extra step. It's big for the program, big for the young team to get that experience moving forward.
And just quickly, only 4 athletic programs at Cape Breton, but the soccer team's another great year for them, a silver and a bronze at Nationals, and you've got a Nationals coming up at Cape Breton in a couple of years.
Yeah, no, fantastic. We're the only university in Canada to medal 2 years in a row at the soccer championship, so I always say it starts with our coaches. We have assembled some of the best coaches in the country with Ness Timmons, Dino Morley, Matt Skinn, and Fabian McKenzie. So they do an outstanding job. They have passion, and our university senior administration and board has done a great job providing the resources to keep us competitive. So we have the 2020 Women's Soccer Nationals coming, and hopefully we'll bring the men's national soccer in years to come. And it's been great. I mean, all 4 programs are very competitive, and that's what we try to do on an annual basis.
Great. Well, thanks to John Ryan for your time. We'll be back shortly with the second half. You're watching live coverage of AUS basketball on Bell 5 TV1. Great.
Hey, go on! Go on! Mind your own business!
Bravo. Oh, there. Yes, indeed. This is going to make your world a lot different than the one I grew up in. You know where England is?
Sure, it's over there.
And over there is where that sound is coming from. Right, Mr. Marconi?
Through the air, across the ocean, the first time ever.
Roger, 8 plus 34, 9 plus 09.
Yeah, so you can see how these are just little, basically absorbent patches that will capture your sweat. And then we just measure how salty your sweat is.
When they hear the sound of the drum, they'll be saying, oh Lord, here they come. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Yeah, here we come. Hey, here we come. Hey, here we come. Here we come.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's packed to the rafters in the Edmonton Arena. Everyone is feeling the pressure on the Grabs as they await the American champs. Here's the Cleveland favorite Knits now, and boy, do they look impressive.
Look at their uniforms. I bet you could sure run in smart shorts like those.
Not that. Look, world champs, my eye.
Grads, we don't play for glory. We play the game for the game's sake. So tonight, you're going to earn that title by playing your game. Teamwork, passing. Let's show them what it means to play the Grads.
The Edmonton Grads were champions for 25 years. The record of 502 wins and only 20 losses is unmatched in all of sport.
Welcome back to AUS basketball action. At the half, the Memorial Seahawks lead the Cape Breton Capers 40-35. Joined now by Capers head coach Fabian McKenzie. Coach McKenzie, a tale of two quarters in that first half. Outscored 28-12 in the second quarter. What defensive adjustments are you going to make to keep them from running and slow them down, their offense, in the second half?
Well, hopefully we'll make more shots at the other end and keep it closer.
Okay, and Hannah Brown, a bit of a quiet start for her, just 8 points on 4 of 10. How do you get the MVP going in the second half?
Well, there's 20 minutes left. Try and get her the ball, get her some more shots.
Thanks, Coach, and best of luck in the second half. Back to you, Vincent Augie in the booth, guys.
And let's take a quick look at the numbers here, brought to you by TV1.
Well, when you look at these numbers, Vincent, and it's interesting, they're very similar, which is a 5-point game, but there are some other deeper numbers around, you know, second chance points. MUN is five second chance points, CBU has none, and then points off turnovers. MUN has 8, CBU has 5. So those hustle categories that aren't quite on the screen are the ones that are differentiating who's winning the game. Because when you look at on the screen, things are very even.
Right.
So it's the hustle. Yeah, and we've got the story of the first half here. You know, so CBU comes out. That's the first basket of the game. Khalees gets out. You know, this is all first quarter stuff where Cape Breton really got out to a quick lead. Nice left-handed hook there by Hannah. and then Khalees on the spin, and those are their two best players who really showed up. And then, you know, it came to the second quarter where Munn bounced back and really showed a lot of, you know, gumption. And here you see Stewart scoring inside, outside, but she got her third foul, had to come out, and then it was some other people that had to step up. Sydney hit a shot, Brooklyn hit a shot, and so the last part was this nice little floating left-handed finger dip by Brooklyn Wright, and next thing you know, Munn's in the lead going into half.
And it's a 5-point lead to start the third quarter, and we're underway here. Alongside Augie Jones, Vince Williams on hand, and Alan April's here as well. And right off the bat, Madison Monroe bangs down a 3-ball. So whatever Fabian McKenzie had to say during that halftime break, Madison's got the point.
Yeah, that's a nice start. You know, we do have 20 minutes left, but that's a really nice start.
Great response by this team. As Stewart gets to the cup and draws the foul, she'll go to the line and shoot 2. So Stewart picking up where she left off, and that'll be Hannah Brown's second personal. Stewart gets the friendly roll on the first.
And you know, there's something about being aggressive offensively. You being aggressive offensively does not mean you have to shoot the ball. It does mean you have to attack the hoop. If you attack the hoop, oftentimes you can draw and dish. So what Munn's done over the last 2 games, you know, in the playoffs, has been to be offensively aggressive.
And there's Ryan, back-to-back bombs from distance at the same spot, that corner 3, as McKenzie lines that up and knocks it through.
These are 2 teams with different styles, but they are even. Like in the season, they were even, 4-point difference, as you said. What a great game.
Coming right back the other way is Sydney Ezekiel, getting to the cup and finishing. Brown, spin move, banks it home, and that's what you expect from the MVP.
But you saw her set it up, so she sets it up by going towards the middle. You play the middle, she spins back to you, right hand off the glass.
Stewart down low. That's bumped away from Stana. Baseline, Barrett, she's all bottled up. Nice pass. Cut, and banking it in with the left hand is Brooklyn Wright. Wright usually like to stand out on beyond the arc, but she got inside there, moving without the basket.
Really nice read by Brooklyn to make that cut, because she kind of bailed Jane out of a situation where Jane didn't know who to pass to.
And that's thrown away into the first roll by Hannah Brown. Brooklyn struggled in that first game in the quarterfinals to try to find her range from downtown, but she is showing that she can get it done as well.
Well, she scored 7 out of her last 9 points, and so yeah, and they need her right now.
Stewart backdoor, that's last touch by Bianchini.
I really like the backdoor cut. I like the backdoor cut, and I know Munn used it well yesterday too, because if you're going to overplay, then you're going to come up defensively. When you make a backdoor cut, you usually get an open shot, and so they've done that consistently, and you have teammates that are looking for that backdoor cut.
Kind of like that Princeton type of offense. The legendary coach who used those backdoor cuts. If anybody's familiar with NCAA basketball, Princeton loves the backdoor cuts. And there's Stewart. She draws the foul. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. So Stewart continuing to be aggressive, and that's number 3 on Khalees.
And that's significant. I mean, that evens things up. Sydney Stewart has 3, Khalees has 3.
And the lead's back up to 5. Here's Monroe from way downtown, and that's off the back of the iron. She almost shot that one from the parking lot. Stewart now with the rebound. She'll bring it across the timeline. Stewart in tight. Left hand, can't get it to fall. Rebound by Brown. There's a good on-the-ball defense there by Bianchini. Here's Ryan racing down the other end. Good entry to Brown, and she was able to get in deep on Rosie, and Rosie's got to fight a little bit more to try to push her away from the rim.
Yeah, and this is what I said in the first half, where you wanted to see Hannah post up more and be more visible, and I'm sure Fabian brought that up at halftime, because she's been very visible in the post and posting up and holding people behind her, and that's going to be tough to stop if that's what, you know, the MVP is going to bring to the second half.
Monroe blow by. Khalees, she'll spot up for three. Had a good look, can't get it to fall. Monroe with the rebound. She'll spot up and fire, and bang, she knocks it down. You can't leave Madison wide open from distance.
And nice hustle to get the offensive rebound, and as I said, oftentimes, off of offensive rebounds, you can get open shots, and she gets an open shot for herself.
2 for 5 from downtown, she's got 9. Here's Baird trying to answer, bang, and she's got her own fireworks in her tool bag, and she answers down the other end for the Seahawks.
Hey, I love this game right now. I mean, these are two teams that are showcasing the best that we have, you know, some of the best players and best teamwork that we have in the AUS in women's basketball.
Brown drawing the double, she banks it home with the left hand. Brown going to work in the second half in that painted area. But back the other way is Ezekiel, and she'll bank it in. So they're really racing up and down the floor. Defense has gone by the wayside for both of these teams, and the pace is quickening here. Khalees, she'll try to get inside. Good drop step, can't get it to fall, and she draws the double. Behind the back move, in tight. Stand up, she thought about it. Good close out by Brown. Here's Wright. Stewart gets inside, can't finish with the right hand. That was a difficult shot, and she tried to go glass. Monroe now.
I would say too, Vince, it's like, it's not that there's no defense being played. I think that the offensive tempo and the rhythm of offense is sped up.
Well, there's the defense right there on cue. Good block, but staying with it is being cheating. She forces the turnover on the other end. Here comes Sydney. To Sydney Ezekiel, and it looked like it was off of Ezekiel. It will go off Monroe, and it will stay the way of the Seahawks.
That's really good defense by Madison Monroe, because when it's 2-on-1, you want to back up, stay in between the two players and make it confusing. And she really did do that. She didn't come, and it made it tough for Sydney Stewart to know where she was going to put that ball.
So Rosie and Ezekiel will go to the bench. Stewart will pick up the offense. She'll knock down the mid-range. As Longley has checked in along with Haley Nickerson, the outstanding reserve for the Seahawks. Here's Brown, left hand, gets her own rebound. That's knocked away from her from behind by Nickerson. Floater, can't get it to fall. Put backs there off the glass and in by Wright.
Yeah, Brooklyn's really stepped up this game, and you know, she's a left-handed player, so for her to finish lefty is not so tough, but yet she's really shown up and scored 11 points in the last, you know, probably in the last 10 or 12 minutes of the game, and they really needed that from her.
And Monroe answers down the other end. As the Seahawks got it up to 9, their largest, lead back down to 7. Backdoor cut, here's Stewart. Can't get the friendly bounce. And here's Brown with the rebound. Khalees now. Looking to try to go inside. Brown goes away. Khalees wants the one-on-one with Nickerson. Crosses her over. Gets bottled up. Great defensive play. Getting a hand in there was Cameron Longley on the help line.
Yeah, and you see the hustle, and we talk about hustle stats. You know, there's a shot goes up, Brooklyn gets in the right position, and a putback. Those are the things that, when games are tight, it's those second chance points off of turnovers that can make the difference.
So a tie-up on Khalees. Turnover on the possession arrow. Khalees will check out, Rankin will check in. And Stewart tried to go back door. Looked like she was impeded a little bit by Bianchini.
But that's good defense.
Absolutely, cut her off in the pass. Mark English not happy, as he thought that might have been a foul. Turnover though. Now the Capers are looking to respond here to cut this lead even more. Ryan, blow by, baseline, and one, and she can't get it to fall, Bianchini. Quick move on that baseline by Tony, and she was able to get by her defender, and she'll go to the line to shoot too.
Well, yeah, and you look, I mean, you think about Tony, and as she's gone from a freshman into her third year, she's really aggressive, and I love that because you have to play her. And I think when you first come into the league, you're kind of passive and you don't really want to take things over. But at this point, I've seen nice growth in Tony because she's bringing it.
She'll cut the lead to 5. Here's Baird. Dribble handoff to Stewart.
Both teams have played a lot of man-to-man today, and you're wondering if it gets down the stretch, do you change up the vibe?
Longley, backdoor and count it. Man, oh man, they are really using that backdoor cut and moving without the basketball to perfection right now.
Well, yeah, and this is teamwork because you know where you're supposed to be. So Cameron goes back. She ran there purposely, knowing that that's what the coach tells you to do. That when someone goes and penetrates, they dish, and that's what they've done the whole game, is that backdoor cutting, as you said.
Yeah, Longley unable to knock down the free throw. At that point, they would have been perfect from the charity stripe. 9 for 9, they're 9 for 10 now. But answering is Ryan. She'll bang down the 3.
Listen, I love her shooting form. Again, I'm in the back of seeing her shoot that, and I see her form from behind, and it's perfect shooting form.
Brown off the miss. She'll gobble up the rebound. Ryan now will bring it across the timeline. Dribble handoff again to Ryan. Hesitation, kick out.
Nice pass.
To the corner. Here's Monroe, blow by on the baseline. Can't finish, gets her own miss, and she'll put the floater in. So Monroe continuing to be aggressive offensively. She's been a handful on that one-on-one defense for Monroe.
And she's another Nova Scotian player at a Truro that has really grown into a solid AUS U Sport player, and she's a big part of what they do here at Cape Breton. Not only does she hit threes, but she hustles like crazy. She's a great team player, so it's nice to see her progression as well.
Entry pass is knocked out of bounds by Nickerson. So substitutions coming up here for the Seahawks. As Ezekiel will come in along with Short. And Rosie as well will come in. Ezekiel steps in front of that pass, knocks it out of bounds, but good anticipation there by Sydney with 2:24 now remaining in the third. Seahawks still leading. Lead down the 4. But this Caper team is not going to go away. Here's Monroe. Shot clock down to 5, and that was from way out. Ezekiel, pull up.
Nice pull.
And she'll rattle it in. Can't give her that type of space in transition. Here's Ryan. Monroe. Ryan, she'll try a hand from distance. Can't get it to fall. Short comes up with the rebound.
Well, they've gone away from Hannah Brown inside, and it affected the flow. It affected the rhythm. Because right now they're shooting from outside, and that's kind of like a do or die. Like if it goes in, fantastic. But if it doesn't, and right now they're going in for Munn, and they're not going in for Cape Breton. Get the ball inside to Hannah Brown.
Sydney Ezekiel's got 21 on 8 of 15 shooting, 2 for 4 from downtown. She's been lights out with 7 rebounds. Rankin trying to answer, can't get it to fall, and they're continuing the struggle from beyond the arc. They're 6 for 19 now.
Yeah, well, you see, and there's momentum, and this is, Cindy's come to play. She's played well the first game, second game. She just scored 5 back-to-back. You back off of her, she hits the 3. You back off of her, she hits the pull-up. Really nice play by Sydney Ezekiel.
Steal. Bianchini in transition, looking to push. Bianchini left hand, and she'll bank it in. Bianchini continuing to be aggressive. Great defensive play on one end. She goes rim to rim, steps in front, and she'll pick up the charge. Back to back for Tony, making an impact here.
That's great defense. And again, she puts herself in front of the penetrator and holds her position. So when you watch this, does she hold her position?
Sure does.
Yeah. Body straight up, verticality, and that's a charge.
Under a minute here. The lead is 7, trying to get it down even further. Good looking shot. Lifted a little strong there from Ryan. Monroe gets the second chance here, inside the Brown. Brown, drop step, right hand, left it short. Rebound by Longley. That was a good second chance there for the Capers, unable to capitalize. Here's Stano. Nickerson off the screen. Nickerson gets inside. Floater, left hand can't go down. Longley put back, can't get it to fall. But Cameron, you mentioned in the first half, she has to be pivotal coming off of that bench for the Seahawks, and she's done a good job in that reserve role.
No, she's done a great job, and you know, that's a recruit that Mark English got right here from Nova Scotia. She's from Hubbard's, and you know, she's got somebody that, again, came into the league a little bit green and not getting a whole lot of time, but the last 2 games, she's been significant coming off the bench and really being solid defensively, rebounding, and offensively.
She'll knock down both. Capers will hold for the last shot here. Monroe, pump fake, pull up, top shot, can't get it to fall. Rebound by Rosie, turns it over, Ryan at the horn, counted! McKenzie getting the answer, and that's what they needed to close out the quarter. I'm telling you what, this Caper team trailing by 7 will step aside. You're watching the 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships here on TV1.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
Welcome back to 5TV1's coverage of the 2019 AUS Basketball Championships. We've got quite a game on hand here. Heading into the 4th quarter, the Memorial Seahawks lead the Cape Breton Capers 68-61. Basketball fans, just a friendly reminder that there is nothing wrong with remembering today's game. Keep It Social, a partnership between Atlantic Canadian universities and liquor jurisdictions that's all about helping students make responsible decisions when it comes to alcohol. Check out keepitsocial.ca to see what it's all about, and be sure to keep it social at today's game.
And let's take a look at the road to the final here. We take a quick look. Memorial got it done yesterday afternoon against UNB to get to this point. Acadia as well got it done against Dalhousie, and they'll play afternoon next at 3 o'clock, and the winner will play at 1 o'clock in the final here at Scotiabank.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Munn's got, you know, a real nice Cinderella story happening here, and Cape Breton's trying to end that story, but, you know, the veteran play of Munn has been very impressive the last 2 games.
Stewart in transition, can't get it to fall. Brown throws it right into broadcast area. Good catch there, Augie. Still got it.
I still got hands. That's all I have. That's all I have.
Can't knock down the jumper, though.
Oh, that's true.
Stewart will inbound. Here's Ezekiel. Nickerson trying to go one-on-one, and she gets bottled up there. Good defensive play. Stepping in front of her is Rankin, and she'll force a turnover. And that's number 10 on the afternoon for Memorial. Memorial taking care of the basketball, not turning over a lot, not giving this high-potent Capers team opportunities. Ezekiel will be called for the foul. Another aggressive play by Tony Bianchini.
Yeah, and I like that motion that Cape Breton just ran there, because Tony coming off of that, by the time Sydney Ezekiel came to her, she was off balance, and it gave a free lane for Tony to come off of that dribble handoff. So I think that there's some motion offense that they've got to get into, because getting the ball into Hannah on the blocks where she can score from, they're really having problems with that, which is a testament to great inside defense by Memorial.
So Brooklyn Wright will check in for Cameron Longley. Ryan left that 3 short at the rim. Stanoff with the rebound. She'll give it to Ezekiel. She'll bring it across the timeline. 9 minutes to the championship, or if this is not settled in regulation, we'll go to overtime. But at this point, man, it really looks like it might go to that situation. Rosie Doe trying to make sure that it doesn't. She'll knock down the three. Good looking spot up there by Rosie. Got the spacing in the airspace. She made no mistake knocking down the three. Mackenzie trying to answer. Gone a little cold after hitting a couple threes here in the second half. She's 0 for 4 from distance. And Fabian Mackenzie wants to call timeout. It's a pretty good timeout right now to try to settle him down.
Well, yeah, you know, because I think that from Fabian's point of view, you have the MVP of the league, and yes, the team that you're going against is going to try to stop you from Hannah getting the ball. That's obvious. But you still have to work hard to get her the ball, whether it's on dribble penetration, where you drive and dish or whatever. But shooting the ball from outside is not the formula how they became 18-2. So if that's what you're going to start to do, it's a tough way to win.
Korean pulled pork sandwich is back for a limited time at participating Subway restaurants. Tossed in a savory glaze infused with a blend of soy, mirin, gochujang paste, and sesame oil, it'll be like you're discovering pulled pork all over again. Subway, the official fuel of the AUS.
So a 10-point lead for the Seahawks. Capers needed a timeout to try to break up that momentum. Carried over from the third, but this Seahawks team's been very impressive. As you mentioned, they're turning into Cinderellas. They're wearing the slipper right now. Last year it was the UPEI Panthers, but right now it's the the fifth seed coming into this tournament has really shown that they're here to play and they're trying to push the envelope.
Well, yeah, and I always say that experience matters in the playoffs, and you know, it's the most experienced team here this weekend is the Memorial Seahawks, and they tend to be playing like that. They are more calm. Once they get a momentum shift against them, they've seemed to bounce back against that, even against UNB. They're doing it here now. They're looking really impressive. Now, don't count out the 18-2 Cape Breton Capers either.
As Ezekiel gets inside, she'll draw the foul, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. Sydney slow to get up to her feet. Already sporting an ankle support there on her right ankle. She's been battle tested in these championships.
Yeah, Hannah wasn't there, as you can see, and it's great to get these angles because often fans would be like, as I said, oh, that wasn't a foul. Well, if you had that angle, you would see that, yeah, yeah, I mean, great work by the crew getting that angle so that you can see that, yes, that's a foul. You might not see it from the stands, but it's a foul.
Yeah, racking it up in the truck. So Ezekiel, she'll knock down both. No surprise there. She's got 26 now on 9 of 17 shooting, including 3 for 5 from distance, along with 7 rebounds.
And she had 23 yesterday, so she came here this weekend to perform.
Khaleesi's checked back in. Good step back. Left buried in dust, but she couldn't knock down the mid-range.
So I want to go back to a play where right before Khaleesi got subbed out earlier last quarter, she blew off Hannah Brown and said, clear out so I could go one-on-one.
Then turn it over.
That's not going to work. Again, she's trying to do it herself. And if you have like Hannah Brown is frustrated right now, and I understand her frustration because everyone else around her is trying to take over the game and trying to win the game. And I know it doesn't come from selfishness, but if you have an MVP player who's the #1 scorer in the country, then you have to find a way to get her the ball.
You got to get it inside first. Use that inside game to outside. They lead field goal percentage at 41%, so they really need to get it inside. But there's Brooklyn Bright answering, knocking it down. Got that airspace, slow closeout, and she'll knock it from distance.
Yeah, you know, they're feeling the momentum. Nice spin. That's a mismatch inside. Sydney on Tony, so they had to help out on the mismatch. She dishes it out to Brooklyn. Brooklyn's having a great game today. She's feeling it, and boom, she hits it. Like, that's the thing that we say about flow and rhythm and this thing about the Cinderella team. Just shots start to fall and you start to feel good about yourself. That is happening right now before our eyes with the Memorial Seahawks. They're feeling good about themselves. They're hitting shots. They're moving the ball. And that's when you get that type of momentum at a championship weekend, you got a real shot at winning it all.
Yeah, Brooklyn Wright having a good game. She's got 9 points. She's 4 for 6 from the field, and that's a travel call as the defense getting the tempo there as Monroe able to step in front here and force a turnover.
Yeah, and Jane might have done a retreat dribble here to get out of that, but that's why we tell guards not to pick up your dribble, because once you pick up your dribble, you don't have the option of repositioning or backing up. You have to stay there and pivot, and often that leads to a turnover.
So Cape Breton trying to turn it up defensively, and there's the sky hook on the double team as Hannah Brown's able to go up and over two defenders.
Go into Hannah Brown every single possession for the next little while.
Right, closed out there by Bianchini. Here's Baird trying to get inside, kick out. Right, trying to go inside, left hand, can't get it to fall. Stewart with the rebound, put back's no good. Right, second chance, and she's fouled by Bianchini, and there's that height differential between Tony and Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's really good play calling by Mark English, because at this point you have someone like Tony guarding Sydney, so he's posting Sydney up. It's putting Tony on the inside, and that makes her have to box out and do things at her height. That's not the optimal position for her to be in, but yet it's the offense that Munn's running that's putting Tony in that position.
So Wright able to knock down both. She's got 11, the fifth-year senior from Cambridge, Ontario. Banking it in down the other end, going coast to coast, is Mackenzie Ryan. Not much resistance on that transition by the Seahawks. Ezekiel now. Ezekiel inside, can't finish. Right there, that's blocked by Brown. Here's Bianchini in transition. Khalees fumbled it. Loose ball, scramble for it. And Brown getting in there and tying up Sydney Stewart.
Yeah, a lot of people getting on the floor. Hannah gets in there late. Oh, the body slam. But yeah, that's really just hustle. We often say to players, when the ball's on the floor, get on the floor with the ball and go get it. And you saw that several players did that.
So a 10-point lead for the Seahawks. Remains double digits as the Seahawks calling a timeout here. And head coach Mark English talking to his captain, Sydney Stewart. Definitely Stewart's been in her element this afternoon, Augie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and again, both coaches are doing a great job coaching. Coming down to crunch time here.
Right, Maddie's coming down to get you. It's like we're going to run Phil. Kenzie's got the ball up here. What's going to happen is
the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar is proud to be a sponsor of AUS basketball. Located right across from the Scotiabank Centre, the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar has a DJ every night, 7 days a week. Celebrate the AUS basketball championships at the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar.
So a 10-point deficit for Fabian McKenzie, the #1 seed coming into this tournament, up against the 5th seed, the upstart Cinderella, the Memorial Seahawks. Alongside Augie Jones, Vince Williams on hand, Alan April's here as well. A great game in semifinal #1 between these two teams. No strangers with each other, but this veteran-type team is really getting the job done thus far, and it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting for the #1 seed to try to get in striking distance.
Well, it is, because they're down 10 and you have 6 minutes left. I think actually Memorial, too, as far as pushing the ball, you may want to think about, not that you want to play to hold up the game, but you may not need to take that push at that same level because you're up 10 points. Walk the ball up, make the time go down because the time's on your side.
Take what the defense gives you.
Yep.
Here's Baird. Ezekiel. Stand up, pump fake, blow by, kick out, Baird, swung it. Stewart for 3, rattles it in, bang! Stewart right on cue, and she's got 19. She's 3 for 4 from downtown on 6 of 18 shooting from the field. So beautiful half-court play coming out of that timeout for Mark English's club. Brown now.
We're thinking about a Cape Breton team that scored 91 and 86 in the 2 regular season games, and they're way off that pace. So there's something to be said for the defensive effort of the Memorial Seahawks today.
Here's Stewart, really feeling it. Right for 3. Right lights up tonight, and she'll capitalize from distance. Man, oh man, this Seahawk team is really knocking down the threes. And that's back-to-back day Capers in a crucial situation. Brown trying to answer that rim zone. Right with the rebound, and Baird, the veteran, she'll take her time to bring it across the timeline.
They got to work their offense now. Work your offense. It's not that you don't want to stop being aggressive, but you can let the time go down. There's that mismatch we talked about.
Stewart, left hand, left it short. Monroe in transition. Kick out. Ryan continuing to struggle with that mid-range jumper. That's in and out.
You know, great awareness here by Memorial. You see, nice move. Rosie passes up her shot. That's nice ball movement. That's San Antonio Spurs ball movement. You know, it's
ball movement.
Yeah.
Perpetual ball movement. Stand up. She'll step in front of that, and a turnover. So the turnover is starting to pile up for the Capers. That's number 16. They average 16 on the season. And Stewart answers and makes them pay down the other end. She banks it home. Stewart's got 21 on 7 of 20 shooting from the field.
Yeah, there's something happening here, Vince. Like, the Memorial Seahawks are making a statement here this year at the Women's Basketball Championship in Halifax, because they're almost up 20 points
18
against the #1 team in the conference, and they knocked off UMB, but this would be huge.
18, it's the largest. Here's Baird. She'll get inside, and she's fouled. And Jane Baird will go to the line to shoot 2. Let's check in with Alan April.
Yeah, guys, just a quick stat about the three-point shooting the Seahawks are putting on display today. The 10 threes they've made today are a season high. They average 4.7 per game on the season. They've more than doubled that today at the Scotiabank Centre. Back to you, Vincent Augie.
Thanks for that, Alan. And they have been outstanding from beyond the arc. But you knew about Brooklyn, right? You know she likes to stand around the three-point line and knock them down. But then you got everybody else, like Ezekiel, and you got Stewart can knock them down. And Stanoff.
Yeah.
They can knock them down, and they're hitting these big shots in these crucial moments. So 3:37 and counting remaining. And the #1 seed are on the ropes right now and can't seem to find their shooting range as Brown misses another shot. Inside, Barrow. Stanoff for 3. And that doesn't fall. And the roof would have came off this building if that would have been able to go down. Monroe trying to answer, and she'll splash it from downtown. Desperately needed that 3 ball for the Capers. Here's Rosie trying to go one-on-one with Brown. Rosie, left-handed finish. Outstanding decision there by Rosie on the dribble drive.
Well, Munn is really like getting their confidence.
Brown banks it in.
As the games go on, they're fit, because really, I'm giving advice. Oh, I think you should slow it up, and I'm kind of waste the time. And they're like, forget that, Augie, we're going. Yes. And that's what they're doing. They're hitting threes, they're driving.
Staying aggressive.
It's great to see because they're feeling good. And there's a thing around, yeah, talent matters, but there's a certain thing around. I wouldn't say it's luck, but it seems like that there's something going on with Munn that they came here to play this weekend.
16-point lead for the Seahawks. Coach Mark English wants to call a timeout, and let's take a look at the men's side of the bracket as they will play this evening here. Great storylines here on the men's side as the Cape Breton Capers, the #4 seed, will go up against the St. Mary's Huskies. The Capers will have that at 6:30. In the last 2 seasons, they were 1 for 40. 1 for 40 in the last 2 seasons until Matt Skinn took over and got them to this point. And UMB and Dow at 8:30, and that should be an explosive matchup as well.
Yeah, and we get to sit and watch that. I mean, I love the commentating, but I also love to be a basketball fan and sit and watch. So I'm really looking forward to the men's games later on today.
So some outstanding basketball still left here on TV1 alongside Augie Jones, Vince Williams on hand, Alan April's here as well, and the entire Universal crew, giving you the great pictures and sounds of these championships.
Yeah, and it's great that we give a shout out to the truck and to Universum, because they're the ones that are giving us the pictures and making us look good. So thank you guys so much.
Cape Capers trying to turn it up defensively in a full court press. Wright trying to spot up in the corner for the dagger. She'll pull it out. 5 to shoot. Stewart trying to get some space. Wright will fire for 3, and she left that short. Good closeout there by Monroe.
So we got 2 minutes left here, Vince, and they've got to score quickly. You know, as much as Munn can stay in front of people and make them move the ball, time is not on Cape Breton's side right now.
They can't afford to take too much time on each possession. They got to make a decision right away, whether they're going to try to put one up from distance or get it inside to Hannah Brown.
I also think on the other end, Cape Breton's got to look to press, whether after scores or without, not even when they miss. They've got to press on scores and misses, because again, 2 minutes is not a lot of time.
No pressure on the ball. Full court. Here's Monroe inside. Good
nice
entry
pass
to Brown. She'll
nice
draw the double. She's fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. So important free throws coming up here for the MVP with 2:01 remaining in regulation.
Because when you shoot free throws, it's when the time is stopped. So Cape Breton wants to score as much as possible when the time's not running. But I do want to shout out, again, Madison Monroe. Offensive rebounding, feeding into the post, hitting threes, pushing it in transition. So impressive in the versatility of her game, and to see her progress to that point is really, you know, something that is caught my attention. I love what she's doing here today.
The 5th-year senior from Truro, Nova Scotia. Brown goes 1 for 2. Ezekiel splitting the defense here. Capers really scrambling to try to get a turnover here. Here's Stewart. She's bumped by Bianchini, and Stewart will go to the line to shoot 2 as the Capers are over the limit.
And so when you have a team that is down and desperate and pressuring you, you cannot be passive against that. Offensively, you've got to be aggressive to match their aggression, because Cape Breton wants Munn to back up and pivot and pick up their dribble. You can't do that. But what has to happen is the people off the ball have to move to get open. So when you're being pressured, you have a teammate that's standing right there going, I'm open, throw the ball to me.
So Stewart goes 1 for 2. The lead still 16 here. Here's Brown off the drive, and she'll bank it in with the left hand.
I mean, Hannah uses the backboard like Tim Duncan, like another San Antonio Spurs reference, but she really uses that backboard well.
Stewart, kick
nice
out.
Pass. That's
Rosie
a nice pass.
had
Nice
all
decision.
day.
Nice
Great decision there by the senior. Baird gets bottled up, gets it to right. Rosie misses everything. Had a good look.
But that's okay, because they used up 22 seconds out of the 24.
Brown back the other way, and she'll bank it in. Here's Baird. The Stewart. Turnover. Back the other way is Bianchini.
They got to
bank
press.
it in.
They got to get up.
So
They got to get up. They got to
51.2
get up.
seconds now. The lead's down to 10. Ezekiel, excuse me.
Don't dribble
Ezekiel
through the
across
press,
the
pass the
timeline.
ball. You got to pass it through this. If you try to dribble through the press, that's when turnovers happen. Munn's got to look to pass, get open, move. People off the ball have to move.
Here's Stewart. Using her size and quickness, can't finish with the left hand. Cape Breton really needs to push it here. Ryan banks it in. Good step through there on the Euro step. 8-point lead now. Mark English is allowing his veteran team to play on. Stewart can't handle that stretch pass, and that's a turnover. So 16.9 remaining in regulation, and let's check in with Allen.
Yeah, guys, as Cape Breton takes a timeout, just another quick stat about how high scoring this game is. Both teams have eclipsed the record for the most points scored by a women's team at the Scotiabank Centre since the tournament moved here 5 years ago. No other team previously had scored more than 80 points in the 5 years that this tournament's been played at the Scotiabank Centre. So these two teams are very high prolific offenses, and we're seeing what we saw in their regular season meetings in November. Should be a great finish. Back to you, Vincent Augie.
Thanks, Alan. And just another side note, the Capers are 12-0 when they score over 78 points on the season. So that might come down and go by the wayside after giving up 88-plus points here with 16.9 remaining.
Well, yeah, and you know, they're in the 80s, and the two games that they played during the year, they were in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
But what a great game, you know, to watch. You know, really have to give a lot of respect to Cape Breton University and the Capers and the job that Fabian has done, because again, like, they never gave up. They're in it, and they're still not out of it yet, but down 8 with 17 seconds is going to be tough. But then we have to switch it to the Memorial Seahawks. Like, we're talking a team that came in 5th, knocked off UMB. They're about to knock off the #1 team in the conference with an MVP and Coach of the Year. So again, I always like to balance out the respect for what's going on. Great job by Cape Breton, but what a great job by Mark English and the Memorial Seahawks to come into this building and play the way they have.
So the important inbound here, it looks like we have a foul off the ball on the inbound, and Mark English cannot believe it. So a hold on, it looks like Hannah Brown. She'll shoot 2. No, it's who will step up here. It's on Mackenzie Ryan. So Ryan will shoot 2. English not happy. And they will get possession as well. So a huge turnaround with 16.9 left. Stewart has fouled out of this one. That's her 5th personal. She can't believe it. So a huge turning point here, Augie. Yeah. Cape Breton is getting an opportunity. So Mackenzie Ryan will knock down both.
Yeah, that makes it interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Things look like they were well in hand here for this Seahawks, but some nervous times now as the lead down to 6. Gotta get it up quick though. Brown can't get the 3 to fall. Bianchini, quick shot, left that short. Under 6 to play. Rebound by Nickerson, and she's fouled, and that should do it with 3.5 remaining in regulation. So the Seahawks, some nervous, tense times here down the stretch. Look like they hold on, and Cinderella is definitely in the building.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Everybody loves the Cinderella story. We loved it last year when UPEI made their run. Now we start to think about, okay, championship game tomorrow, 3rd game. That whole thing about playing 3 games. Because to be the Cinderella, you got to put so much into the first upset and so much into the second upset.
It's a war of attrition, that's for
sure.
sure.
Can you put all that same energy into a 3rd upset? And so, but yet, what Mun's done so far, congratulations to the women's basketball program. You know, I want to shout out, you know, obviously one of my friends, Doug Partridge, who was a coach on this team for a long time, but Mark English, Newfoundland,
and they
stand up.
The 5th seed Memorial Seahawks get the job done as they punch their ticket to the finals tomorrow afternoon. The final, Seahawks 90 to Capers 82. Stay with us. You're watching the 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships here on AUS on TV1.
Sweat. It says I was here. I worked here. It says I only have so much to give before I have to take. What I lose, I want to get back. Sweat says I earned this. Gatorade, created to help replace what you sweat out.
Memorial Seahawks are moving on to the AUS final. They take down the Cape Breton Capers 90-82, and I'm joined now by the player of the game, Sydney Ezekiel. Sydney, what a game for you today. Your team was down 11 points early in the first quarter, but how were you able to bounce back and take down the Capers?
We just put in a team effort and came back, and it was basically just team basketball. Did it today.
And your team went 9-11 in the regular season. You've never won a game prior to yesterday here at the Scotiabank Centre. How much confidence did the team have coming into this tournament that despite the seeding, the 5th seed, you were able to make some noise this weekend?
we have a lot of graduating players, so a lot of people wanting to play, know how to get the job done, so that was a huge factor in it.
And you're one of these fifth-year players moving on to play in the final tomorrow. Obviously, a lot of work left to do, but what does it mean to you to have an opportunity to play one more game and play for an AUS championship tomorrow?
Feels awesome, and I'm glad to do it with the group of girls that I'm doing it with.
All right, well, congrats again to Sydney Ezekiel. A great game for her, and the Memorial Seahawks are moving on to the final. Going to send it now to Vincent Augie to wrap it up. Guys.
Thanks, Alan. Let's take a look here as one bracket is complete. The Memorial Seahawks punch their ticket to the final as Cinderella will play for the championship tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, and you can't count them out. I mean, you've got I'm looking forward to this game today, which is a rematch of last year's final, but yet you cannot look past the Memorial Seahawks. I love the balance that they have right now. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with teamwork and with that experience. Like, they've been here. So they're finally like, okay, we're in our 5th year. We're in our 4th year. We're leaving everything out here on the floor, and that's what they've done.
So we'll be back in less than a half an hour. The final here, 90-82. The Seahawks get it done. For my producer, Ed Middleton, and the entire TV1 crew, and of course, Augie Jones and Alan April, I'm Vince Williams saying thanks for watching. And we'll see you back in 25 minutes here for semifinal number 2 of the 2019 Subway AUS Women's Basketball Championships.